Yeah, we've talked about doing the same thing in Pioneer. Just like maybe it's just a better Pioneer deck. Like every single card in this deck is Pioneer legal, with the exception of Thought Scour, Counterspell, Murktide Regent, Fetch Lands. I mean, those are all like really important cards, though. But Faithful Mending, I don't think that you need to splash white for Faithful Mending, but you could cut the Shredders for Mending and be Esper instead. Chromanticore. Oh, is Chromanticore better than Drogskull Reaver? I can't remember why I started playing Reaver instead. Oh, I had the Reavers in the sideboard for. I had the Reavers in the sideboard for the Burn matchup. This is what I'm talking about with this Greasefang deck. I'm drawing like Unkeepable 7, all lands into no lands. I feel like I've just been running so bad with it, but still been winning a decent amount. Okay, let's keep this. This is a 4-card hand. Okay, we'll just keep these and hope to draw a Greasefang. Yeah, Chromanticore is flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, lifelink. Oh, trample is kind of huge. This gives indestructible though, which is really nice, but and double strike. And Reaver also gives double strike, lifelink. Yeah, maybe double strike is better than vigilance, first strike, lifelink. It's close. What Grixis gets you is a charm. And haste and double strike creatures has it indestructible. I don't know. I mean, it's just like. I mean, you're suggesting playing Is It Charm over Ledger Shredder, but Shredder's just kind of nuts, I think. And also, like, what's cool is, like, with this deck is, like, you can just, like, have a dead Shredder, have a dead Murktide, cycle a Riverwinder, and then you have just flying hexproof 4 mana, 4/4, or, 2 mana, 4/4. Which came up a couple times. Not a single white source to hardcast Reaver. It actually came up in my testing that we, like, I wanted that and I didn't have it, so maybe we should. But it's also, that card's also 7 mana, right? Your 17 lane deck. But also, I think once you start playing cards like Hazoret in this deck, you get that's when you're like lost in the sauce. Where like you're not trying to just hardcast Hazoret in Modern, and like the fact that it's only haste indestructible is kind of mediocre. You want more keywords. Just try to do the more powerful thing, I think, instead of maximizing your Soul Flare. Right, any Greasefangs? Any Greasefangs? Not saying over Ledger Shredder. I mean, you don't want to. I don't think you want to play 12 looting effects. Then you know what I mean. It's like, I think that these 8 looting effects are plenty. You can Thoughtseize yourself in a pinch. You also have to consider Thought Scour. I think like 12 2-mana looting effects is just like way too many for a Modern deck. Yeah, pretty good molded form. Pretty good molded for. We even have 3 more looks at the Greasefang next turn, because we have 6 mana next turn. Could you do Otherworldly Gaze over Thought Scour in the Pioneer version? Yeah, I guess yes. Okay, what is this attack? Blacksmith skill? Deal. I will take this trade. Okay, not going to cast the Hierarch, so I could try to draw Greasefang this turn. I guess maybe that's what I'll do is work on the Pioneer version, because I do feel like this has like potential in Modern, but it's just so close to being a Pioneer deck. Like, yeah, like Otherworldly Gaze over Thought Scour, maybe Drown in the Luck over Counterspell, but Drown in the Luck kind of sucks in the format. And then you can play Chromanticore over Reaver, obviously different sideboard. Oh, but you also want to, and then you can play like Treasure Cruise Oh, you probably want Dig Through Time in this deck over Soul Flare. All right, if we scrub out this league, maybe I'll do like a brew on stream. Soul Flare and Pioneer, because that sounds pretty fun and pretty good. Come on, Moldifor, please. Bonus draw, thankfully, is like also like so slow. I think Thought Scour is too strong to be printed in Pioneer. Yeah. This may sound like a complete fabricated lie, because how could this be true? But Wizards decided to ban Expressive Iteration instead of Treasure Cruise or Dig Through Time. So printing Thought Scour into a format with with Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time is not a good idea, I think. Dude, these blacksmith skills. Just my opinion. You don't want Scour to format with Treasure Cruise. And it's almost like those cards restrict design space. Okay. Do you need another Sculler? But if we draw another Sculler, we get the loops going. We're also just getting in with these birds, huh? No, the 2/2 or worse lumps in O2 drops or 1/2 drops. And they just concede Moldifor, baby! Moldifor! Sometimes you Moldifor, but your opponent also just has a even worse draw than you do. Yeah, I think Wayfinder is a little slow. Birds of Paradise again, man. Phil, thank you for the 14 months. Appreciate you. Yeah, so this is Pioneer. Considers Otherworldly Gaze. Counterspell is like 3 Spell Pierces. And then Murktide Regent, Counterspell. These are like 3 Dig Through Times. And then you play, or maybe you play 2 Dig Through Times because you already have the Soul Flares, and you do something like 4 Zatalpa, 2 Chromaticore, 3/3. Probably 4 Zatalpa, 2 Chromaticore. Running so bad today. I mean, we like that's what I'm trying to say. I know this sounds weird to say, but this is not meant from an angle of complaining, but an angle of evaluating the deck. And I think we are running bad today. We're mulliganing a lot. We have a lot of hands like this with no lands, hands with all lands, hands. We've bricked on a ton of collected companies in our 29 hit deck, but we're still winning. And like that's the point I'm trying to make is despite running, like objectively running bad in this deck, we're winning a lot, or winning a decent amount with it. And this was also like our experience on Friday too, is like I think we're running bad, but still like winning enough to be interested in the deck, which is good. Like when you're experiencing negative variance and still winning, I think that is a good sign for your brew. And it can be kind of hard to evaluate when that's the case, but I think it's been kind of like clearly the case with this deck so far. Yeah, I agree that Indestructible is more important than Pioneer. You can play like 3 Pithing Needles in the sideboard for Unlicensed Hers. Is it crazy to play Persist in the Flayer deck? Yeah, if you persist your Soul Flayer, you don't get oh, you're saying you want to persist as a Talpa? Because a Talpa is a legend. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Am I looking at Claudia? Oh. Just the deck I was talking about. Okay, Counterspell / Looter is really cool, but I feel like you probably just want to play Spell Pierce instead. And playing Adult Gold Dragon over Chromaticore because you can hardcast it, I also don't love, but this looks very similar to like exactly what we're saying, of course. Oh, also like no, you should play Ledger Shredder, right? No Ledger Shredder, no Dig Through Time. I think makes like not a lot of sense either. But it's just like you're not winning mini games off of Hardcast Adult Gold Dragon, right? Just playing the more powerful card seems way better to me. Yeah. Tainted over Mending makes sense, and like also just playing Ledger Shredder 2 seems so important. I think this card is cool. You will find the whatever. You'll find the whatever. But Spell Pierce seems also really, really good in this deck. And I'm very unlikely to register three mana counter spells in Pioneer decks. I've been so impressed by all the 3 mana counter spells so far. Alright. Let's find a Greasefang. Warning Destructo. Yeah, you will find the name of the card. But you will not find a Greasefang. Although I have some mills looking for Greasefang with the Unearth in hand at least. I'm pretty likely to try to chump block with this Night Bottom and also Unearth at this turn cycle. $10 for Mudkid. Find an old pile of mine. Let's get a tech for how bad it is. Okay. Though these decks are. I found an old deck from 2015. Here it is, Spike. These are usually rough, but we'll take a look. Bolas's Citadel Storm, baby. Cool. So we're treating Bolas's Citadel into play by reshaping for a Lotus Bloom. So Artificer's Assistant plus Bolas's Citadel is very cool to make sure you don't fizzle. It is also very awkward that you have a card that turns on the creature removal. But maybe it's necessary so you don't fizzle. I will also say that if you want to play an artifact-based combo deck, I do really recommend the Magistrate Scepter deck I've been working on. Very different, but kind of the same archetype, and I would recommend this list to you. But we can keep talking about. I'll be dead to Shadow Spear. We can keep talking about this deck as well. I remember seeing like this list pop off a little bit. I can't remember who it was, but I remember seeing some like popular Magic players playing the deck. I just can't remember who it was. Yes, for food is another. Yeah, I agree. Another good example. But yeah, I remember it was like basically this deck, or very, very close to it, and it is a big issue to be in on Reshape, Bolas's Citadel, in a format where Counterspell is so popular. You don't have, like the Counters deck, you don't have as many payoffs, where in that deck you have Scepter, Mystic Forge, Karn, Ancient Stirrings for one of these cards, Urza Saga. Here, like, you're just all in on your Citadel, resolving your Citadel, which is very hard to do, I think, in this deck. I don't know that there's anything wrong though with how this deck is built. Like I don't see any deck building errors. It's just unfortunately the archetype that I'm not a huge fan of here. I would play probably some number of Prismatic Endings in the sideboard to answer various lock pieces, but I think that's my take on the deck. It's definitely what's going to happen a lot of times when you unearth these, several-year-old combo decks too. But I don't know. I don't think there's anything I really disliked. Maybe one of those ideas where the list is maximized or close to maximized, and you've really you totally maximized the potential of the list or gotten really close to it, and it's still just not quite competitive, which is an area that I have a lot of experience in. Could be fun to chump block this. I also don't think I mind trading. Maybe you could have blocked with the Spire to play around Blacksmith Skill, but I also don't, mind getting Blacksmith Skilled here that much. Just doing fine. Probably gonna mill over a Greasefang. Okay, didn't. Okay, Greasefang. Ding, 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 ding. Don't want to discard my hand. Or just straight up not interested in minusing the Grist? Not really. I don't think so, at least. Me? Thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate ya. Opponent. Letting me attack. This is only 13. They're at 15. Glad you like the stream. Appreciate ya. Yeah, I know the Grist Ultimate's lethal. I've already activated this turn, though. Yeah, -5 was lethal, but I plussed before we had found the Greasefang. Maybe I was supposed to Coco first. But, I'd already activated it. We have the combo. I've got mana I'm going to keep, despite just having 1 land. Now she's on the floor. On the floor, next to the collage. A great place for Athena to be. Okay, up against creativity. You will live. Is mic really low? I think I'm just quieter than usual. This has been... People have been saying for a while now that the microphone's quiet. The microphone's quiet. I think it's just me. I'm just quieter. I'm trying not to be, but I think that's what's going on. Where's the band Coco Decklist? We have 3 Mage 2 Silence. I posted it on Twitter. I don't think it's updated in the Stream Decker. Sideboard is 3 Mage, 2 Silence, 1 Time Warp, 2 Venser, 1 Endurance instead of okay, I think I'm gonna go Scholar into Engineer this turn. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. 3 Knight of Autumns. Velamakas. Add up, thank you for the 12 months, appreciate you. And I'll pull it up. I'm a lot better today than I've been in recent weeks, volume-wise. The thing is, I just haven't changed anything, so I just don't know what's going on. Yeah, so it's 1 Time Warp, 1 Endurance, 3 Knight of Autumn, 2 Venser, 3 Meddling Mage, 2 Forge Tinder, 2 Silence, 1 Solitude. I might want to cut the 3rd Knight of Autumn for another Deputy if I feel like Rhinos are around, but this feels pretty good. There's always going to be some small changes to make. Yeah, I've seen that the 4-color hammer deck finally 5-0'd a league. That deck is so bad. Oh my gosh. Fuck. If we lose this game, it's clicking through the attack step, is what it is. Especially because the Angels block the Velomachus. You okay, Spike? I just fucking misclicked. Chill out, chat. Please, please, please. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm fine. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's fine. Some patience, please. You never freaking misclicked on Magic Online. One anyways, huh? Against an opponent who mulligan pretty hard. I'm going to bring in, I think, one Sculler for one Wayfinder. Grist is usually pretty good against creativity, although maybe it's worse against the Velomachus version. I think I'll play Fulminator Mage on the play, but not on the draw. Any chance of playing fairies? I think it's unlikely. I think that Spell Starter Sprite is a fine modern card without much support. Bitter Blossom is unplayable. Oh, dude, I misplayed so hard. Athena left. She left. She's like, I'm unfollowing, Dad. Call me when you don't misclick. Okay, let's keep this. Put back Parhelion. That's about Enigmatic Incarnation, Listen Pioneer. Those decks are really an Enigmatic Incarnation, a very aptly named deck. Maybe I could put back the Engineer instead, and then just try to discard to the Seasoned Pyromancer. That could have been better. Could have been better. Ooh. Yeah, here I do think I want to Engineer so I could just have that out of Greasefang. Okay, then I think I'll just go Seasoned Pyromancer, discard Satyr Wayfinder, Engineer. I already have 2 red sources. I think I'm probably fine to just grab a Swamp. Mana Leak. You should see Remand in these decks instead. It's kind of interesting. Is this deck weak to Graveyard Hate? Yeah, of course. It's a graveyard-based combo. That being said, you have Knight of Autumn that can answer some of it, and you still just have like Seasoned Pyromancer and stuff too, and Collected Company, Grist, 4/3 Greasefangs to fight through it. That is like I think one really big argument for playing Ragavan over a Mana Dork though is if you play Ragavan over a Mana Dork, then you are way better at beating Graveyard Hate. Oh, just do a bolt. Yes. Can I say no to this at this point? No. Can't crew. Engineer not licensed to pilot a Parhelion. Is Merfolk playable? I think Merfolk is fine. The reality with Merfolk is I think that the pilots of Merfolk are a little too obsessed with solving their deck's problem of being a Merfolk deck. I think that I see this very often, that the Merfolk players are just like, they're cutting their Merfolk, they're playing any random card in the format, and I think a lot of times you just diminish your synergistic tribal payoffs, and you do so without really compensating for it in power level by playing, you know, whatever card it is you decide solve all your bad matchups. You know what I mean? If I have 2 ideas for the same deck, and I donate to have you compare the list, how much would that be? I mean, we could probably do that for just like the normal $10, but if it's just like a comparison, I tell you like which one is better and like, you know, how I would build it, that would be probably just the same standard deck tech rate. Okay, I'm going to go to game 3. I think I do want these Fulminator Mages on the play. And why don't we try no Grists? I think we need to cut a 3-drop. I think that this is the 3-drop to cut. This is still 29 hits. Reasonable hand. If they kill my Hierarch, I can unearth it on turn 2. Really good if we draw a Fulminator or Coco into 1 on turn 3. But it's on a mulligan to 6. Mulligan to 6. Can someone solve the Colossus and the Grinning Ingus deck in Pioneer? Dude, the Grinning Ingus deck is like... That deck is nuts, I think. I played it. I think it's really hard to play. and it's really hard to build perfectly. But I think the Grinning Coco combo deck is really good. When was the last time I took a vacation? I don't know. I'm going out of town. I'm taking like a weekend trip this weekend. I was gonna take a weekend trip like 2 weekends ago to go shoot videos with the professor, and then Esther got COVID, but we're doing fine now. I don't know when the last time I took a vacation was. Maybe CFB Vegas. Yeah, I think it was probably CFB Vegas. But you know, it's also like we bought a house this year. It's hard to be vacating. Okay, so I milled over Parhelion and milled over Fulminator Mage. didn't get a land, but that was still pretty good. And they just pack it in. Awesome. Dude, the leagues with this deck are really fast. How do you feel about this hand on the play? It's probably like worth a keep. Then what's the idea? Is the Innkeeper just for infinite life? I also really liked Hazoret's Monument. I think I wanted more of those when I played the list. Yeah, I agree the deck's really hard to build. Uh-oh. Red alert. We're playing against Enchantress. I think. We're probably pretty boned. Commune Spirits. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I saw that my opponent was playing Enchantress, and I'm like, a good matchup. It's just, dude, the Enchantress deck is so good. No, it's definitely Enchantress, because they're not playing 80 cards. Let's cycle this Unearth. Give her infinite life, free to play. Yeah, maybe. Oh, you're not playing Awakener. I thought Awakener was decent. Or are you playing Awakener? Okay, let's just cast a Greasefang, I guess, and then hope to get him next turn. Finding Engineer plus like Seasoned Pyromancer or another Greasefang to crew. No, I guess another Greasefang doesn't work. Enchantress just beats Brews. I think Enchantress just beats everything. I don't know. The deck's cracked. Yeah, I know they could have main deck Blood Moon here, but I have Seasoned Pyromancer and Unearth up for next turn, potentially. I don't really see the point of Awakener. I mean, getting back your Risen Reef and Ingus is nice, right? There's the moon. So Parhelion would be really good. Could discard Parhelion and Greasefang, Unearth Greasefang. Okay, I'll just discard these two. Oh, man. Okay, but if I can draw another Seasoned Pyromancer, a Goblin Engineer, we get to win next turn? Maybe? I saw playing Enchantress because Besage got printed. I don't know. That's necessarily that good against you. I saw playing Greasefang because I got Antonized a bunch. We do have the Knight of Autumns in the sideboard, which are maybe worse than the Duskwatch guys. I mean, this is the best draw by a lot. It's probably not close to enough, though. Fulminator does not hit basics, so I think it's tough to bring into this matchup. Because they just play so many basics. We have to bring in... Oh, we have Force of Vigor, too. I forgot we had the Forces. Okay, maybe we're just doing fine post-board. Let's just go game 2. I want to play the game where I have premium interaction, not the game where I'm getting Blood Moon to death. Yeah, I think in matchups like this, where your mana dorks are really likely to live, I've been cutting the Wayfinders a lot and then cutting a Parhelion. This is currently 29 hits for company, but I need to go down 2 cards. think you can cut one Grist, and then this is 28 hits. Can cut another hit if I want to. Maybe an Unearth. Unearth I think makes some sense when it has exile-based removal and I have less self-mill. Maybe even actually just 2 Unearths. I think that makes sense. Time to just self-enchantments, bring them RCQ. Yeah, I quietly think the Enchantress deck is... I think it's one of the few decks in the format that can boast a good matchup against Murktide, Living End, Hammer Time, and 4-color. I'm not sure that the Murktide matchup's that good, but I think the rest of those matchups are pretty solid. And again, it's just kind of hard for like any deck in the format to feel like they have a super good matchup spread against that specific array. And that's, you know, obviously also a really a good array to be good against. Fulminator over Grist for Utopia Sprawl and Onthanice. Fulminator doesn't kill basic lands, and Utopia Sprawl and Onthanice almost always go on basic lands, so... not in for it, I guess. It's 50-50 against Murktide. Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's get the Grist going. Be good against them playing a 2-mana creature. Cutting a lot of green cards. I could pitch to Force. I mean, I still have a lot of green cards in the deck, but you can also just hardcast this card too. I definitely have like at least 14 green cards still, right? I have 7 Dorks, 4 Collected Companies, 3 Grist, 3 Force of Vigor, 3 Knight of Autumn. I have like at least 20. Not worried about it. Okay, good turn 2 for them. Definitely like drawing green card. We'll just force kill both their enchantments on their upkeep, deny them the mana from the Utopia Sprawl. Oh, sorry, I should have cast my stupid engineer, sorry. I don't know why I thought I couldn't for some reason. Is big mana a problem for the deck? I don't know. I mean, you've got 4 Fulminators in the side and your Coco Unearth deck, which is usually really good. And you have a combo to pressure them to. Okay, rest in peace. Obviously, we have more answers to this. Now we just get to turn the Engineer into a token. It's got 4 cards in their hand. The Grist is fine if they play a creature next turn. Not too good otherwise. Shoxin, Temple Garden, Sterling Grove plus Onthanice. Okay, Onthanice is totally fine. I think I'm probably supposed to play my second Grist next turn if I don't draw anything else. We'll see what we draw, of course. We'll cycle that. Alright, 3 mana, 4/3. Wonder if we'll see them sack the Sterling Grove. We don't see them sack the Sterling Grove. Double Sterling Grove combo. Started to play something. I think that they decided that they would rather like tutor an Enchantress effect than play something. So this is 4 down to 11. I have 9 damage in play for next turn. Oh, whoops. Pop the Grove. Revealing Sithis. The life gain from Sithis is really good. Presumably they have another enchantment in hand too, especially when they just tapped 2 mana last turn. Seal of Primordium. Okay. Not too scary, really. So if I can draw a disenchant effect, I can kill the Sithis after, so with a Grist minus. So if I hit Knight of Autumn off the company, that'll accomplish that. Ding, 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 ding. I think I'll probably sack this Ignoble Hierarch to deal max damage. So put my opponent down to 3. They've got 1 card in their hand. Feeling pretty good. Okay. Going to game 3. Anything change on the draw? Probably not. Surprised I didn't search for Solitary. Well, Solitary is not that good unless you have an Enchantress effect in play. It's just like... You just like let your opponent top deck while you accomplish nothing. So like they needed to search for the Enchantress first, which they did with Sithis. Okay, we have Knight of Autumn. Kind of a slow hand though. No Mana Dork, no Force of Vigor, bad mana. I'm gonna mulligan, I think. Okay, this hand definitely has, I think, a lot more going for it. Just like having that turn 1 Mana Dork is so huge in this matchup because they don't die that often. They're on the draw too. Any thought the Fulminator for enchanted lands? Again, they're almost always going to enchant basic lands, and Fulminator Mage doesn't hit basic lands. Okay. Utopia Sprawl on white, pass to me. Another green card would be kind of nice, but just take what we're given, I guess. Gonna get Temple Garden here. Trying to think of a scenario where I would use my Force of Vigor. Yeah, I mean, I can just do this on their turn. I don't need to force right now. I'm gonna force before they untap with this, and so now I'll get a swamp because of Blood Moon. Cycle the garden, see if we find a different green card. Another land. And can't let them untap with the presence, so we'll Force of Vigor. And we are out of action. Lots of powerful top decks, but I think all of our draw steps this game were lands. Yeah. 4 cards in hand, 3 mana. Rip. Alright. Seasoned Pyromancer, Collected Company. Okay, I mean, I guess I'll get some more pressure in play and then thin my library of these like relatively useless Parhelions, well, at least useless as long as this is in play. A spell at least. Would our Gothian Enchantress being legal make the deck too good? I mean, that would be the best Enchantress deck by effect by a lot. Having access to 12 really good Enchantress effects also is really kind of scary, I think. I don't know, maybe. Okay, yeah, them still not having an Enchantress effect gives me time, but I mean, this is obviously what I've been kind of getting at. Is I feel like I'm running kind of bad with the Greasefang deck. A lot of like Mana Flood into no top decks, but still winning a lot, which is good. 9 Life Solemnity could be a thing in Pioneer. I think that interaction. Do they burn on Flame Blitz, or maybe they just had it in their main deck? I think 9 Life Solemnity is a really weak combination that beats very few decks. It's very easy to play around. Very slow. Okay, don't mind them using Ontonice on the Hierarch, though. Destiny Spinners are going to be a real threat. Oh, they shouldn't have played out this Rest in Peace, though. They were supposed to hold this for an Enchantress. I guess they're playing it for Destiny Spinner. Even still. Right, big draw step. Big draw. Medium hits, though, or bad hits. We can hardcast Parhelion, though. We can hardcast Parhelion. Does this get Trample, the token? It does have Trample. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the moment, but they're not holding it up. Ding, 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 ding. Womp, 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 womp. Okay, not going to shuffle because we know we just put a lot of bad cards on the bottom. Okay. I'm assuming they tutor Sithis here. They must have another enchantment in their hand, but why they got, I think, very punished for playing out that Rest in Peace, but they probably just have one more in their hand, right? Another Rest in Peace, sure. Makes sense. Force of Vigor, Knight of Autumn, Collected Company into Knight of Autumn, Seasoned Pyromancer, Parhelion, Grist is good. Yeah, Grist is good. Hierarch. Does this deck have any unique metagame advantages over other cheat decks? Creativity. I mean, you get to play a low curve, you get to play a creature backup beatdown plan. You get to, you know, it can be a one-card combo if you Coco into Greasefang and Engineer. Yeah, where's my Kessig Wolfron? Okay, the Shroud effect is really, really rough for us here. If I go Coco into Knight of... Okay, no, I can't get rid of the Rest in Pieces this game. Yeah, explosives would be pretty sick. Yeah, I do think our best draw is just Parhelion. Probably gonna lose. Rough stuff. 2-1. Even when you get added consistency from Traverse the Uvenwald, I don't think that you are incentivized enough to play Yorion. And you have some Enter the Battlefield effects, but you don't, you know, flickering your Chariot, your Supplier, Format Wayfinders, you know, not super duper powerful either. I do think the idea of playing Traverse the Uvenwald in Greasefang is good. You mill over so much of your own cards with your Fiends and Format Wayfinder, Supplier, whatever. I think Traverse is very quickly on, and the ability to tutor up your Greasefang is really interesting, really cool. I like that. I like that thought for sure. Hold on, let me take my draw step here. I don't know what I'm doing if I draw lands, but I know what I'm doing if I don't draw a land. So that's kind of my first thought. It also doesn't even feel like very difficult to get back down to 60 cards if you're cutting Oath of Nissa, Binding of the Old Gods, these goofy planeswalkers, cut Ishkana, cut all the extra Witherbloom commands. It doesn't feel that hard to support Traverse in this deck. I think Traverse is really good. I haven't seen it before. I think it makes a lot of sense. You can also Traverse for Informant to loot away a Parhelion or something like that. I don't know like what matchup Ishkana is good in Pioneer. I think this is like, you know, kind of reeks of reliving Standard Glory days with Ishkana Traverse, but I don't. Maybe it's okay against Izzet decks, but I'm not a big fan, I think. Okay, so let's go Seasoned Pyromancer, discard 2 Unearths because of the... I guess I'll discard Unearth Engineer, but with the Sentinel in play, I don't necessarily love having Unearth. Yeah, so I would recommend this version, getting down to 60 cards, still playing Traverse. It's really tough for the deck text for me to, you know, just actually peel 20 cards out of the deck. But I give you some ideas of what you should be likely cutting. Okay, Shadow Spear, Paladin, equip. We'll take a draw step here. We will not take a draw step, yeah. Okay, Force of Vigor, Knight of Autumn in the deck. Cutting the Wayfinders, Parhelion 3, Sculler 3. Do you pay the 22? Supplier is $4. I don't even remember it being that high when like Supplier was good and Hogak was around. Oh man, the Supplier was so sick in the Hogak deck. Do you prefer regular Greasefang over the anime one? I can't really remember what the anime one looks like that much. I kind of think that this one looks a little goofy, but like maybe goofy is fitting. But I don't know. I think that it like I think it could have been goofier. Like if you're gonna go goofy with Greasefang, you know, it's kind of a funny concept. A rat, motorcycle gangster. You know what I mean? So I feel like you could have gone either goofier with it or less goofy, but it's kind of like in the middle, and in a way I don't like as much. Obviously over critical, over analytical, like every other Magic player ever. In one of my D&D campaigns, we had a player character whose name was Skit Rat, and Skit Rat was the only player character that we've ever kicked out of the party. It was all in good fun, but was like actively trying to form a rat army to overrun the city and like flood the city and take everything down. So that player switched characters, and we eventually that character became the villain, and he the whole time he was playing the character, he was talking about Big Paw, who was the biggest rat in the sewer, and then we finally did this too, Coco into Engineer Greasefang. We met Big Paw, who had a giant rattling gun on his back full of wands of magic missiles that could shoot hundreds of magic missiles at once. It was crazy. No! Dude, Path to Exile is broken. I finally Coco'd into Greasefang Engineer. And this is the thanks I get. Yeah, the 1-card combo. Yeah, the rattling gun. It's awesome. Soria with the 7 months. Wheels McGee with the 12. Thank you. Have you ever played against Griselbrand with Epicer? I don't think with Epicer. I don't know if the Epicer is what the deck needs or is missing, but something. It gets a Colossus Hammer. Okay, seems like Tidehollow Sculler plus Grist kill the Stoneforge Mystic is likely going to be a good line. And I guess I should sack the Night of Autumn so I can unearth it next turn. Oh, I should have attacked with both though. For whatever reason, I thought I had Exalted here. Stacks, hey, it's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. Post your deck tech in the chat. Amino Bomb with the 5 months, and Elegant Evelyn with the 2. Thank you guys. They drew Needle for turn, which is fine. Them casting this means, oh, they're needing Parhelion. I mean, I could just kill the Needle with the Unearth if I need to. Oh man, I don't want to discard my... Yeah, I guess I'll just get birds because I really don't want to discard the Unearth. Yeah, I think this game, I think it just makes a lot of sense to be off the Parhelion plan at this point. Kill the Urza Saga, kill the Sigarda's Aid. They just have nothing at all. Okay, if they have, I guess if they have a Cauldron, I can use the Grist to kill the Stoneforge. They do have a Cauldron. 2 mana away from hardcasting Parhelion, but Parhelion is needled. I guess we should have Unearthed first. Well, I wanted to Coco first so that I could like choose what to unearth a bit better, but yeah, maybe you're right. Because it's also like, do I unearth and kill the needle? Because like that's only good if I hit the Greasefang, and if I hit Greasefang, then I want to unearth the knight and hit the needle after I hit the Greasefang. Hushbringer. Hushbringer's, you know, not that good against me. It's good enough to bring in for sure. I think we'll just kill it. Oh, we will just kill it and attack them for lethal. Okay, game 3 on the draw. I think I like my overall sideboard plan. Okay, deck attack for stacks. Kahira Prison. I don't know if you're legally allowed to just have 4 Chalice, 4 Suppression Field, and put Prison in the title. It seems fine though. Just the plan of turn 1 Chalice, turn 1 Suppression Field, or turn 1 Arbiter seems fine. I also like that you can pitch Chancellor to Endurance. Something. I have to mulligan this, I think. I mean, having double Dork against Hammer Time is good. It's too many Unearths. I mean, we can't really mulligan. I think we put back the Seasoned Pyromancer so that if we miss our second land, we can go turn 2 Engineer, turn 3 Greasefang. Or I guess maybe I should have put back the Parhelion. I was thinking that I wanted to keep it to discard to the Seasoned Pyromancer, but I guess I can still draw another one. I feel like Voice of Resurgence like definitely seems like the weakest card in the deck. It also feels like you have too much removal. 4 March, 4 Ending, 4 Solitude is like, I think a bit too many. Oh no. Oh no. I draw mono Greasefangs. Weird game. I guess I'm like hoping my opponent has a slower draw here that they kept on the back of Hushbringer, and I can just go to discard for the Parhelion. Although, of course, my opponent playing 2 hammers like means almost 100% that their last card is Pure Steel Paladin. It's not like playing any of my cards in hand let me beat the Paladin here, so I'll just keep passing and hope that they've just made a mistake. What a draw. Okay, Glorious 2-0 into Shameful 2-2. I'll keep this. I will say the sideboard looks really good, though. I don't think I've got too many qualms with the sideboard. Just playing too much removal, need another lock piece, or win condition. So either Thalia, Stoneforge Mystic, lose the Kahira. Where is Yasharn? Where is Yasharn? Is he safe? Is he alright? Yeah, cutting into pathways for Ghost Quarters I think is fine. I would test Greasefang and any other shells besides this in Asmo, much as Mardu Shadow. Such as Mardu Shadow. I think that you do not want to play a 2-card combo in your Death Shadow deck. I think that it can be a little bit easy to get lost in the sauce with Shadow, but like the more I've played Shadow decks, the more you just come to understand that Death Shadow decks require you or reward you for having as low of a mana curve as possible and having your deck be like all individually powerful fair cards and lots of cheap 1-mana 1-for-1s. Death Shadow is not the kind of card that you want to be playing with like clunky 2-card combos that has no synergy with. Okay, land please for Satyr Wayfinder. Yeah, I can't find my box of hats. I don't know what happened. When I organized the room recently, I looked everywhere for my box of hats. I have no idea where they are. I'm hoping to find them. I don't know where they are. They should have attacked with Ragavan first, probably. Okay, I'll skip if I don't draw a land. Thank you, Ragavan, for taking my Blood Crypt away. Dude, when Ragavan is just Codex Shredder plus Lantern of Insight, it is brutal. Alright, this has been my Murktide Cyborg plan so far. 3 mana dorks, 3 lightning bolts. Bummer as well. Yeah, but no, these are the only 2 Greasefang decks I've tried in Modern. This one and the food deck. This one felt a lot better than the food one. But it's also true, like, Collected Company and Unearth are like the 2 cards that power up these relatively fragile 2 and 3 mana creatures. I think this is probably the best Greasefang shell in Modern. Do I want to buy treasure chests before a new set comes out? Not. I used to. Just like I would have like 100 treasure chests I'd open the day that the new cards came out, but I would just never open any relevant cards. We might do a little bit of a brewing stream after this. Okay, keep this. You will live. Birds of paradise, you're going to live. Yeah, I mean, I think this modern version is fine, but this deck is just so close to being like a good Pioneer deck that I kind of want to try it there first. It'll be also good to play Pioneer again. I've been meaning to for a long time. Pivot back to any Pioneer content ever. Yeah, and then, but yeah, this deck playing Otherworldly Gaze over Thoughtseize Hour, probably 18 lands, maybe 19 lands. Spell Pierce over Counterspell. Dig Through Time over Murktide Regent, and probably 6 creatures to Soul Flare instead of 5, besides the Striped Riverwinder, I think makes a lot of sense. Am I queued for DreamHack? No. No. Wow, I can't believe I just talked about not being queued for DreamHack without listing all of my bad beats first. No, I'm not queued though. I have like maybe 1 or 2 more chances to queue. There's still a few more RCQs in my area though. You're going to need this weekend. I'm not going this weekend. It's one of my best friend's birthdays, so I'm gonna do something over there instead. But then I've got like there's 1 or 2 more in the area after that. These tournaments have also been like so time consuming lately too. It's like the last 2 weekends they've been my entire Saturday is these tournaments just to top 8 and not make it. Okay, let me run the Seasoned Pyromancer into the counterspell. I think that this is the one I'd want to get countered the most. How do you feel about Thorn of Amethyst in the prison deck? Thorn of Amethyst, the keep key hero. It's probably fine. I kind of like it, actually. I'm into it. Am I going to SCG Con Dallas in October? Probably. I mean, my interest in like the Star City game circuit has like diminished drastically compared to like pre-COVID or like even like those first couple SCGs post-COVID. The tournament series has really like lost a lot of its luster for me. I still think likely to play the ones that are here in Dallas, but I'm also like I don't even feel like I'm 100% gonna go like I would have, in the past. I'm just like a lot more interested in like the RCQ, PT circuit, and any Magic Online stuff. I think. Ever played in the Hunter Burton Memorial event? I've played at the last like 6 or 7 Hunter Burtons. I think I've played in all of them, but the very first one. Ooh, Jeskai Murktide. Very fancy. Counter the Engineer. I think I just unearthed the Engineer. I don't really want to discard my hand, despite unearthing Spyro being a lot of board pressure. It's also, of course, important just to get the Healy into the yard, so your Greasefangs are good. Top 4 does Q as RCQ for SCGs. Yeah. Like I will probably go to the local SCG, but it just, you know. Tormod's Crypt and Murktide is also interesting. Also, like they must have just drawn this. I mean, they would have, I guess, have already had it in play if they had it, but they wouldn't have like Archmage's Charm the Engineer. I don't know why they're main phasing this though. They should be responding to the Greasefang trigger. No, I have a 100 burden. I just top 8'd 2 years ago. The first like 2021. Exiles Unholy Heat. They don't currently have red mana. What decks have I been playing at the RCQ? So this last weekend I played Bant Collected Company. I started off 5-0, double drew into top 8. It was like 74 people. I was on the play for my first top 8 match against Hammer Time, which is usually, I think, like one of your best matchups, and I ended up losing, mostly losing to Ginger Brute, which was like not like a dynamic of the matchup I really like knew was like a big deal, where Ginger Brute just being unblockable was tricky to deal with. And then the weekend before that was a Pioneer RCQ. I also started off 5-0 there, double drew into top 8. That one was like 67, 68 players, something like that. That was a Pioneer. I was playing Is It Creativity with Gearhulk. I lost in the finals of that one to a red-black player that I had played against and beaten in the Swiss. And then the RCQ I played before that was Double Masters 2 Sealed. I also started off 5-0 at that, but I ended up making a mistake in my tournament math, and I drew round 6, lost round 7, and I got 9th place. KD, thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate you there. And they're really not going to kill the Grist. Trying to think. And then I think the one before that I was playing like Rakdos midrange. Oh, there was 2. I played 2. I played Rakdos midrange at 2 before that. I would have been able to draw into top 8, but the opponent. Ooh, that's no way. Mill over Parhelion when they've already tapped the hearse. Unreal, lucky. And another Grist token. What the hell? Double Master Steel RCQ. Yeah, it was like a 126 person sealed RCQ, and so it was so big that I wasn't able to double. My breakers were bad. I was the only one. I don't know. It was a whole thing. Okay, go to game 3. Yeah, but so then I played Rakdos midrange at 2 RCQs before that, and I got, my opponent had to play. I could have drawn it if I had been paired against a different opponent, and then he was playing Burn. And I needed to fade 1 burn spell, and I didn't. Lost that one. And then I like got 1-2'd at a RCQ with Rakdos the next day. Yeah, it's so tough hearing like the Canadians or like other regions like that top 4 gets queued at these RCQs, or they have more than just one invite. But you know, most of the RCQs in my area are like 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 people. Although there's some that are smaller, some that are smaller for sure, but there's only 1 invite at all of these, which has been pretty tough. Would I still be playing Gearhulk Creativity and Pioneer or something else? I don't know, probably. I haven't played Pioneer since since that tournament, so probably that one. I also still have it sleeved up too, so don't have the value of not having to sleeve a different deck. I grabbed an invite from top 4 of a 15-person event on the first weekend in Canada. Yeah, it's just like, the system is so uneven. Top 4 of a 15-person RCQ, and I'm over here playing a 129-person RCQ and missing top 8. after starting off 5-0 for a tournament where only first place gets the invite. It's just like it's just such a different system. Hey Evan, thank you for the 30 months. Welcome back. Thank you. Hey Obnoxious, how's it going? I was just gonna immigrate to Canada. Does anybody want to marry me for Pro Tour purposes? Is that just a region-based thing? I don't know. I know that like the Canadian system is softer, where you have the option to go to multiple different regional championships. There are tournaments up there. A lot of times the top players, like top 4, will qualify. You also have the option to go to the American Regional Championship too if you want to. Just in general, the tournament's a little softer. Yeah, I imagine it's because there's like, yeah, you know, less people, less tournaments maybe, but I will say, you know, I'm not currently qualified. I've had some rough beats or whatever, but I have been really, really enjoying just like playing Paper Magic lately. It's been awesome. I think I get the Blood Crypt here. Just like my Saturdays get to be the just, you know, grinding at RCQs has been really, really fun. It's been really time consuming. I've been super busy lately, like outside of that, but it's been worth it, I think. We have 2 regional championships in Toronto and Calgary. You can go to both if you snag 2 invites. Yeah, that's also like crazy. Like getting to get 2 invites up in the same season is like such a huge advantage for like the Pro Tour circuit. Any thoughts on an article on play lines with Bankoko against various archetypes? I know could do something like that. I mean, those kind of like deep dive articles are possible. I don't know. It's tough. Like the reality is there's a lot of type of content I could be making, a lot of like super in-depth articles, you know, more stream content, but you know, not enough time to make it all, you know. Okay. Pitching, expressive iteration. I think Sculler's been pretty good today, for what it's worth. You know, no, you can't trash talk Satyr Wayfinder in Modern. This was in one of Modern's best decks ever. This was a staple when Hogak was around, I think. It's been a long time. And they forgot to Hearse me end of turn. How many stops for the PT or US, Canada, RCs? I think, for Canada it's just top 8. I didn't know that. Okay, for US it's like top 30 something, I think. So some number higher, a lot higher than top 8. Although probably also a lot more people there, I guess. I think I'm gonna Grist again. 1 card in their hand. Yeah, they should have banned Wayfinder over Hogak. What a base take, huh? Oh man, we milled over the Wayfinder. Blocks Ragavan. What's her out to lay line? You have Knight of Autumn, and you just also can just attack them until they're dead. This deck has like a very robust plan B, which is nice. So weird for me to have like a real answer to the question instead of just yelling, "Lose at it, chat! Lose to it, chatter! Just lose to the hate card." Would it be safe for looting to be unbanned? I don't think so. I think if Faithless Looting were unbanned today, it would be the best card immediately the best card in Modern. And I even feel like it's like somewhat unreasonable to argue that it wouldn't, but I think that if you unban a card and it is immediately, right away, the best card in the format, you've made a mistake. Let's take both Endurances. I have a Spyro in the hand. what deck would it go into? It would revitalize a lot of decks, but it would also go into a lot of decks. Dredge, like also like so like Reanimator would immediately be a tier 1 deck. Being able to have looting in the persist deck is just nuts. Reanimator, Phoenix, Dredge, Hollow One is immediately a deck again. Gristlebrand is maybe a deck again, although maybe not without Spirit Guide. It's, I don't know, it's well, I imagine there's lots of new decks too that like it's like, you know, in some ways difficult to even predict everything that or all of the new decks that would go into. It's just such a versatile card. It goes into so many strategies. And here's also, yeah, also Mardu Pyromancer would be unstoppable. Mardu Pyromancer would finally have its chance to reign for 1,000 million years in Modern. An unstoppable era, an unstoppable dynasty of Mardu Pyromancer decks. But here's also the thing, chat, and it's just that there is a lot of design space between Faithless Looting and Faithful Mending, Faithful Salvaging, Haggle. There you can print powerful 1-mana discard outlets without it being Faithless Looting. There's design space in between a card that is too good and a card that is not too good. Careful Study. Careful Study is also like just Arc-like Phoenix perverts. Anybody's like, Careful Study would be fine, actually. They're just Arc-like Phoenix perverts who just want to relive your glory days. Very, very thinly veiled. Faithless Looting is unbanned, but can only be played at Mardu Pyromancer. Finally, a base take. Okay, medium 3/2. I am liking the deck. I feel like, again, we've been running somewhat bad, like lots of Mana Flood, Mana Screw. Deck that I am liking still. But let's take some time, I think, to rebuild this deck, but in Pioneer. Ooh, a Fervent Champ. Okay. I just want to do this real quick.